What are we watching?
Robo.
Yeah, Robo.
If it's hard for you, then you're gonna have to buckle down.
Do we like Robo?
Robo.
Yeah, Robo.
Okay, today's a little shorter and sweeter than the 40-minute rewinds we've been doing for the past month or three, because I am in Nashville for Titans Toy Expo this weekend. Got to make the long drive, have some fun, long drive back, recording early. That means that I'm going to be missing some stuff. So if you don't see some information or, oh, where's this and this? It's because that's how time works. I'm Robo. This here's the rewind. We talked about the Mondo Real Ghostbusters Holiday Edition of Samhain last week, but now there's new information. There's more to talk about. Yes, they did offer this character up in a different form with the timed edition of Venkman, but this is changing things up more than I thought they were going to. The only reuse here is the body, and even there they changed the color to purple. Oh, and the two relaxed hands, those are also reused too. But the heads and the accessories, or the little minions here, along with the captured Slimer, is all new. I do believe the hand is attached to Slimer, so I think of that as more of just an accessory for Samhain itself. Then there's also the pointer that wasn't with the original release. The big information is the $135 price tag. Well, the pre-order window too, we'll get to that, hold on. At $135, it makes the timed edition of Venkman, or the Ghostbusters that come with the big ghosts, a deal. In the realm of Mondo Real Ghostbusters, not as in monetary amount, because it's not cheap. It's still expensive, but it makes it feel kind of reduced price in Mondo world. But then there's also the two little minions, which are more characters themselves, because they do have a bit of articulation. So if you have the original timed release, and I'm not saying that it's like, oh, I gotta buy another one in order to get the two minions and the unique Slimer, but if you have the original timed release, you could probably take parts and pieces off this, like heads, put it over there. The oranges don't seem to match up, but then their hands from here would also swap to there. Then you could take heads from there, move it back over to here. But you would still have two different versions of the same ghost in the display. But $135 is a bit expensive for something that some may consider an accessory pack to something they already have. This is more for people who passed on the original timed edition, who just got Venkman and are regretting that decision. Oh, I should have got Samhain. Here's another chance at them. For a very limited window, pre-orders for this go live October 31st and only run that weekend. So you have just a few days to jump on this if you're needing it, if you're wanting it. We're also swinging back to the Jazwares Fortnite Legendary series that we touched on last week. Remember the revelation that Beef Boss is coming back around, which is good because the original release is like $60 and up. At least if you go to Amazon. Now they're releasing it on Amazon for $16.99. That's a hell of a deal. Less accessories, but still. It's Beef Boss, baby. But thanks to Nate Kulikowski in the Patreon chat, I now know that Costco has an exclusive 5-pack. That includes Leviathan, DJ Yonder, Jonesy, Rabbit Raider, and Beef Boss. That's kind of a great spread of figures from the original Jazwares line. Even better, it is $50 in store. That is $10 a piece. That is crazy these days. Now I get it. Old molds. They're just making their money back, and again, reduced accessories, but $10 a pop in 2025? I did some searching and found the listing on the Costco site. So if you are within delivery range of a Costco store, the link is in the description. They did bump the price up slightly, I guess because of the delivery. And then for some reason, they didn't picture a single Beef Boss by himself. They did everyone else in the set, but not him. They were scared, weren't they? They were like, man, if we put that up there, the internet may break. More than it has been this week. I'm still trying to get the page to load on this computer. Again, I think they're just testing the market. I don't know if this means that something new is on the horizon, or this is just what they could get out. Beef Boss at Amazon, 5-pack at Costco. Let's see how it does. Go from there. Come on. For new things, here is the Bandai S.H. Figuarts My Hero Academia Bakugo The Beginning. I don't know what that means. Robo's behind on My Hero Academia. Here comes this sob story once again. No, all I know is that this costume looks like the first S.H. Figuarts version, which I think is from season 7, just with a whole lot of battle damage on it and missing the grenade hands. I can't help it. I love those things. They just make no sense, but look so good on this costume. It also seems to have different effects pieces than... Did the original release have much to it other than the figure itself? But there was an options pack that came out later that had the sparkles like this, but was more spread out. And I'm not sure about the blast effects. Either way, this is looking pretty good. It's a different look for the same character. Again, I'd like to see them keep on rolling with different characters, new looks, new figures, but at the same time, well, I mean, this isn't actually reuse. There is a lot of damage to this figure. Just another Bakugo, which it's Bakugo. I get it. So here we are. At least they're still rolling with the license, right? Not a lot in the realm of McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse this week, mostly because I just saw the announcement of a McFarlane live stream tomorrow. Again, I'm recording this Wednesday night. It seems a lot of that is Fallout, which I have no clue about, no interest whatsoever. But a DC Multiverse Batman Classic TV series Batmobile, yeah, I'm there. This is the only picture I have at this moment. It's going up for pre-order on Friday, so I'm probably gonna be driving down the interstate and hoping to catch it at gas stops or food stops. I'm gonna put this on because I need it. I do have the DC Retro Batman 66 Batmobile, but with those figures, the 6-inch less articulated Batman 66 figures, those are slightly large in here. This graphic says 21 inches. This measures 15 inches. The DC Multiverse Batmobiles are usually underscaled in order to get them onto store shelves at a semi-decent price. So what my hopes and dreams are here is that this will work perfectly with the DC Retro Batman 66 figures. Again, I'm only working with this one picture. By the time you watch this on Saturday, everything else will be revealed. More pictures, the price, the release date. But again, I can only think that a DC Multiverse figure will look slightly large in here. It'll work just like the rest of the DC Multiverse Batmobiles, but I've got a lot of those DC Retro Batman 66 figures, and it would look great with a larger car. If you haven't figured it out, I'm definitely pre-ordering this. As someone who didn't get the first Mezco 112 Collective Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Casey Jones, they had to come along and do another version in slightly different colors and tempt me again. If I remember right, the first one was San Diego Comic-Con, wasn't it? Wasn't it exclusive? I can't even remember, but I did pass because I passed on the 112th Collective Turtles. But it's Casey Jones in red and gray sweatpants. Regular release even, so it's still available at stores right now. Again, how many times do I talk about 112th Collective figures and go, put your shit out of luck, it's already sold out. So now it's just sitting at Big Bad Toy Store staring back at me every time I open that front page. Ooh, buy me. Please buy me. The first one had the jean jacket and leaned more into the original Mirage look, if I remember right. I didn't get into Turtles till later. I think the red sleeveless shirt is also a bit Mirage-y, but then you get the USA mask, and that leans more into Image flavor, as far as I understand. My Casey was the later one, the actual Playmates figure with the greens and such, but still, red looks good. The heads look great. There is a lot of reuse from the first figure, but then they added a few extras of a couple of, like the golf club. And then the unmasked head is bruised a bit, whereas the first one, same sculpt, was clean. So like earlier with the Ghostbusters, if you have the original, you can get this one to either be in a different display and swap parts and pieces over with the old one if you want a bruised Casey, or if you want this and want the original's mask that's all torn up, you can swap that to here. Whatever you want to do. But I think the biggie is it's Casey Jones available again. Now the clothes do come off a little plain, and I know I talk up loose clothing being right up Mezco's alley, and this does exactly what it's supposed to. It's sweatpants and a torn up shirt and a hoodie, I think, is in the accessories. It's supposed to be plain. If you throw on some gray sweats and a torn up shirt and walk down the street, people would go, oh, those clothes are pretty plain. I don't know what point I'm trying to make here. I'm not trying to make excuses for it. I'm just saying it looks like a pretty dang good Casey Jones. Medicom, what are you doing to us? My fear right now is they're gonna announce the 2 MAFEX pre-orders between the time I'm recording this and the time it goes out to the internet. But at the moment, in current Robo time, all I have is this tease for a MAFEX Deadpool and Wolverine version 2. Version 1 was earlier in the movie when he had the full costume, sleeves and all, no mask. Now they're gonna offer up the sleeveless version with the mask, which is accurate for later in the movie. I am liking what I'm seeing though. The torn off sleeve with the actual tears here, no shoulder pad, the battle damage to the chest with some blood streaks. I think the first one had some holes in it, some things. Those are here too, but then there's also blood. And it's hard to tell. I think the slashes are sculpted in. Then some beard, a little hint of mask. The problem here is that the first Wolverine isn't due out till next summer. And now they're already soliciting a second version of that figure for probably later than that. I can't even remember when that went up. I'm guessing this is gonna be winter 2026. Again, don't quote me on that because I haven't seen any actual information. But that does give people a choice. They didn't wait until that first Wolverine release and then go, hey, here's this one too. And then there's always the argument for swappable parts. This could have been arms come out, shoulder pads come off, new cap piece, bare arms, swap the head. But then you wouldn't have the blood stains and all that. Maybe that's why they waited. I don't know. But again, you have an option right now. If you did pre-order the first one, there's plenty of time to cancel and order this if you want it. Or if you want both, slap your money down, or the pre-order down, or the deposit, depending on the store, and then pay when it comes in later. It makes me wonder what the other pre-order for this month is going to be, and maybe the reissue or the redo of an older. I don't know. Come on, next week. Marvel's gonna bring us to Hasbro Marvel Legends as it always do. So let's touch on the Inhumans 2-pack of Medusa and Gorgon, or Gorgon if you're nasty. It wasn't until I started seeing comments this week of, hey, that's quite clever. Put Medusa and Gorgon together because in mythology, Medusa was a Gorgon. But no, it just comes down to marketing. I see people, should have been Black Bolt and Medusa and Gorgon with Triton, or this way, that way, this way, but people are gonna buy what they buy, and that's where we are. Gorgon's the biggie here though, right? Well, okay, we'll get to it, hold on. But, well, Gorgon is physically the biggie, if you wanna get down to it, so there is that. But it's one of those characters I figured they'd wait a good long time for because of the size and the engineering needed for that horse leg on bottom with the hooves. But no, here we are, ripping through the Inhumans in 2 2-packs. I know there's more characters to be made, but in my mind, this is the main cast so far. These 2 2-packs, Black Bolt, Triton, Medusa, Gorgon, the Crystal 2-pack with Lockjaw, and then yes, I know. We could use a redo of Karnak. Hasbro, use the Amazing Spider-Man body in white, Karnak parts, boom, done. For Medusa, we talked about the articulated hair and how it may have a ball joint, maybe a hinge to get out of the way for action poses. It's not gonna help for looking up simply because of how physics works, but it gives us more posing options. What I failed to mention is the swappable face plates. That's pretty nifty for a character with this power set. I've seen people mention, well, it should have been 2 complete heads with a hairpiece that comes down like a stand and holds it out, or some kind of different sculpt. But looking at this, that is a lot of hair. That's a big hunk of plastic. Although I would have probably paid, and keep in mind, this is new Marvel Legends prices. 6 months ago, I wouldn't have went, well, I probably would have paid $75 for a character Gorgon size and a separate hair stand for Medusa. But with new Hasbro prices, yeah, I think I would have $75 to have Medusa up. We actually saw separate faceplates with the Madam mask from the Amazon 2-pack, but I think that was more to get the mask in the swirly twirly plastic. That way they didn't have to make the whole head out of that. They could put paint on the faceplate and then have the hair and the head as a separate piece. You could pull it off and swap it, thankfully, because I wanted the hairpiece on the other mask. Here, it's something that I find interesting and would like to see with other female characters. I don't know how many times I've said with a female Marvel Legends figure, man, I wish these hair pieces were swappable, or I could put it the other direction. So what I'm saying is I'd like to see more of that in Marvel Legends too. Swappable faces when there's alternate heads. But you know better, I am not speaking for everybody. That's just my own personal want. I did not realize MCM London is this week, but even if I were recording this at the normal time, I would still be missing the Marvel Legends reveals there because apparently they're doing it on Saturday. So we'll come back around. Finally, to keep things Marvel, Kaiyodo, out of nowhere, hit us with the amazing Yamaguchi Symbiote Spider-Man. I do love me a good black and white costume, especially when it comes to the Spider family. But man, this redesign with the veiny body, I don't know if that's for me. And hey, it doesn't have to be. I've seen a lot of praise for this online. And it's not so much the veiny body itself, it's the fact that the head is super smooth. So there's a contrast there that just does my eyes wrong. Start at the bottom and I go, well, okay, they went for more of a creepy top feel. Yeah, okay, let's get up to the... But in my head, I'm trying to think, well, that vein look, would it work on the head? Why would it be there? It makes sense on some level, but visually, I don't think it works. Again, that may just be me. But if they had made the whole body smooth to match the head, they would have gotten a barrage of comments saying, oh, you ripped off Mess Toys, even though Mess Toys is ripping off Amazing Yamaguchi in the first place. So I can see why they wanted to go out on a limb here. They did spruce it up with a lot of accessories. I love the... But one thing could have fixed this whole situation. The Kaiyodo store exclusives are usually something that's not super needed, like a grin or an alternate look that doesn't change the base figure. It's just something neat to have. Here, where they went for what they call the eroded mask or the eroded face, with the eyes being like they are, oh, why wasn't that the regular release? I think that would have softened the blow a bit for the head being smooth. I mean, I say all that, and then they get into the action poses, which is Amazing Yamaguchi's strength, Revoltech's strong point, and I'm thinking, oh, dang, that looks good. That looks dang good too. But my point still stands, at least in my world. I'm not disparaging anybody who's going out of their way to try to order this. I have put the link to the Kaiyodo store in the description. I still don't know if you're able to order directly from them. I've never done it, but you can try it, find out. And that's it for this half a week. That's all I have up till Wednesday. If I miss anything, and I guarantee I will, we'll swing back around. As always, special thanks to the Nobots and the Nobodies, the Patreon and the channel members. Ooh, some custom teases this week. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still in the process of trying to get through some Outback X-Men. I showed off Outback Psylocke in armor. I do have the other Psylocke in progress. And I think I came up with an idea earlier this week when I pulled out a figure for a review to compare. I was, oh, wait a second. Those arms will work. And then I've actually got a Madeline Pryor in process. Man, Marvel Legends, you need a female jumpsuit. Aviator gear, you know? Just for no reason. I don't know who you'd make, but I want to make a Madeline. Like I said, I'm in Nashville this weekend. If you're in the area, stop by, hang out, have some fun, talk some toys, look at some stuff. Since I am traveling, I've already got the review for the Marvel Legends Strong Guy shot and going up earlier next week. I don't know if it really needed a review longer than, hey, this is mostly the old figure, new heads, have a ball. But of course, I made a whole video out of it because why not? But the Marvel Legends shipping continues because Big Bad Toy Store sent out my Deathbird and Gladiator 2-pack. And I need that too. It's so good. Oh, Deathbird to replace my custom on the shelf, an updated Gladiator. We need more Royal Guard. How about the 2 packs of that? Although they're probably not as known as Inhumans, huh? Oh well. Anyway, more reviews on the way. Looking at some toys. And I may eventually move away from Marvel Legends, but it's not looking like it's gonna be anytime soon. Or at least another couple weeks. I know, aw, shucks. At least on my end, because there's so much X-Men stuff. Steak and potatoes. I'm eating good lately. Having some fun. There's that word. You do the same. Or at least try to. For me. For your Uncle Robo. Just do it. Bye.